Let's say it's the first week of you being pregnant. You're only literally 1 week pregnant. What does your doctor say? Start taking prenatal meds. Don't drink alcohol. Don't do strenuous workouts. Drink lots of water. Lots of water will help develop the amniotic fluid, which your baby will need. The reason why the woman in the story feels guilty is because she, like a lot of other women, have bought the lie that babies in the womb are just a clump of cells. That it's just like meat, right? There's no life, no personality. It's just, the a piece of meat forming. But actually, science shows that life actually begins at conception because the first organ to develop, I mean, literally the first part of you that develops in your mother's womb is the heart. When you are only a week old and they take you to get an ultrasound, how they tell you that you have a living soul on the inside of you is that there is a heartbeat. How we deduce whether someone is alive or dead is the heartbeat. When you pass out and the paramedics come, what's the first thing that they investigate? Is there a heartbeat? They are looking for your heartbeat. Whenever someone stops breathing, what's the first thing that they do at the hospital? They bring out a defibrillator and they shock your heart to make it beat again, to bring you back to life. Why is it that they don't shock your brain or your kidneys or your lungs? No, they go for the heart. Because the life is dependent on the heart. If the heart is not beating, the rest of the body will not get the blood it needs, so you'll die. So life is at the heart. Even the Bible says the life is in the blood, right? But there's no blood flowing if your heart is not pumping it, okay? So when you are 1 week pregnant, I mean, you've only been pregnant for literally a whole week. Your baby is but the size of a grain of rice. When you go to the doctors, the first thing that they'll tell you is if it's alive or dead. And how they deduce whether it's alive or dead is the heartbeat. Someone I love had a miscarriage. Her baby was there, and then she went to get an ultrasound only to find out that there was no heartbeat. And because there was no heartbeat, she had a spontaneous miscarriage. Because there is no heartbeat, the life is no longer present. The life is the heart. You are able to be a personality. See, there are people that are brain dead and are alive, right? They're alive in a hospital somewhere because their heart is still pumping blood. I mean, they can't really think. They can't really reason. They are vegetables, but their heart is still beating through machines, right? The brain is gone. But as long as the heart itself is beating, they can keep the body. I mean, you can be brain dead, right? And if they keep you hooked up to a machine that keeps helping your heart beat and your lungs to breathe, right? You can keep growing and growing and growing till you get old. They can sustain you alive. You are alive because your heart is beating. If the heart gets jacked up, that's what can kill you. You can live with a faulty lung up until a certain point, but the heart, you can't. If you've ever seen those experiments that people do that raise chickens, they put them on this little thing where underneath it is a bright light that is warm. And then above it, there's another light that is also warm. But the one underneath it serves as a way for you to see the egg from the inside out. And so you're able to see the little chick forming inside of the egg. At the very beginning is just this red spot. I don't know if you've ever purchased an egg at Kroger's. You crack the egg open and there's a red little blood spot in the egg. And you're like, oh, what is that? That means that egg at some point started to be, what's the word? Not fertilized. That egg was being incubated by the mother, but the egg was removed prematurely so that it wouldn't turn into a chicken because they're not wanting to sell you a chicken. They're wanting to sell you an egg. So they made sure to remove the egg from the mother because the warmth of the mother would help that egg grow into a little chicken. So all you got left behind is a red dot of blood. She found also a small blueberry-sized sac with a red spot. And that red spot was pulsing like a heart, contracting like a heartbeat. That's because that's exactly what it is. You know the chicken is alive because there is a heartbeat. And as long as you keep it within the proper environmental conditions, like a warm place with the heat, right? That chicken will keep being alive and it'll keep growing. Once the heartbeat dies, the chicken can no longer grow because it's dead. The heart is the life of the chicken and it's gone. Now, not to compare chicken to a human, but I'm trying to show you that this is not just in humans. This is life, period. Life law, period. Anything that has a heart starts with a heart. Animals start with a heart. Chickens, right? Humans, especially humans. So how you know that the baby is developing is because there is still a heartbeat. Even if the baby has Down syndrome or some other deformity or disease, what matters is it's alive, right? The baby might be born with a condition or something, but it's still living. Notice how the lack of limbs or the malformation is still not meaning, it doesn't mean death. As long as the heart is beating, that baby, regardless of what it's going to look like, is going to grow and it's going to mature and it's going to be given birth to. Those of you that are mothers will relate to what I'm saying. Remember during your pregnancy, how every few weeks you would go to your OBGYN and they would, give you an ultrasound and they would give you the all clear, everything's good, baby is healthy. Remember hearing those words the first few weeks? Not even months, the first few weeks. Remember when your OBG told you, yeah, the baby's healthy, baby's good, baby's developing right along as he is supposed to, right? They're talking about this human on the inside of you, not as a clump of cells. They are calling it what it is, baby. And they're telling you, yup, he or she is healthy. They're developing good. Baby's growing. Keep doing what you're doing. Eat healthy. Drink lots of water. Have a good rest. How are they able to tell you that the baby is growing and developing? Everybody knows medically that if the heart stops beating, that life no longer exists. It's dead. Okay? That baby is gone. Once a heartbeat stops, the baby, regardless of at which stage he or she might find himself or herself at, when the heartbeat stops, they're gone, whether it's at 9 months or at 1 week. So how do they tell you that your baby is growing healthy? Because of the heartbeat. If they detect no heartbeat, they say, hey, your baby, I'm sorry, but the baby is dead, the fetus is not alive, there's no heartbeat. That means that it's gone. No matter what, that baby is gone, okay? So it's going to come out of you through a spontaneous miscarriage. Why? Because it's dead. It can't grow, right? It's same thing with a puppy. If you see a puppy in its mother's womb, if the heart stops beating, that puppy is going to come out dead. Right? Guys, no human being specifically, since some of you are so inhumane, I had to bring something that might make you understand like animals, because some of you love animals more than you love humans, more than you love your own kids. From the very first week that you get pregnant, if you catch it that early and you go to the doctors, they tell you, oh, it's healthy, it's growing, there's a heartbeat, come back in 2 weeks, and they continue to monitor you. And they show you, yeah, baby is healthy, keep eating healthy because it's alive. So you've killed a kid. Everybody starts off as a heartbeat, living nonetheless, beating nonetheless, a heartbeat of a human being that is living. Abortion is murder, period. Life begins at conception.